On this channel, $1 Million Made Easy, we love to run numbers for people. And what we do is look at what the S&P 500 has done for the last 100 years, and we project that forward to what it might do in the future for an individual. And what I ask you to do is in the comment section, I'll run numbers for you. Just give me 3 different pieces of information. Number 1, if you have a beginning balance. Number 2, if you want me to increase that each year by a certain percentage. And the most important was how much a month do you want to put in? So let's say we have somebody that's 32 years old. They've been able to save $34,000. Again, I can put any kind of numbers in there, and they want to increase that by 3% a year. And they want to put in what, $400 a month. $400 a month, increase that by 3% a year. In other words, 4 in the first year, 412, and so on. Where might they be in the next 30 and 35 years? If there's 32, the 30 years would be 62, 35 would be 67. Once you notice these numbers, again, in 1924, these would be the numbers for the 30 and 35-year column. But each year is different, as we've seen in previous videos. The market goes all over the place. What we want to do is look at the worst case scenario that would have happened in the last 30 years, that the returns going forward were like the Depression years. And what we end up with is after 30 years, you would have put in 209,000. And in the worst case scenario in this column, you're going to see 1.331 million. 35 years is going to be 2.4525 million. So if he's 32 and he went till he's 67, which is full Social Security retirement age, he'd have 2.4 million, and that's in the worst case scenario. The median would be 3.5 million. What I want to do is continue this on. I want to show you what this channel can do for you, whether you're in the accumulation stage or the withdrawal stage. Let's take this individual and say he's got, let's just go 1.5 million. We'll go kind of between here. 1.5 million. So it's time to retire now. We're 30, 35 years down the road, whatever. You've been able to accumulate $1.5 million. You want to give themselves a 3% COLA in retirement. And they've worked out what they need for their expenses in retirement. And they figure after taking into account Social Security, they would need $4,000 a month. Now, I can tell you right off the bat, because I've done this so much, that because the withdrawal rate is well below 4%, they're not going to run out of money no matter what case scenario, no matter what the returns look like over the next 10, 20, and 30 years in retirement, even in the Depression years. I'll show you what I mean. So we're doing withdrawing. I'm going to update this for every single year. I think I've got everything right here. 1.5 million. The only time you'd run out of money is in 1929. And 1929, you'd obviously run out. If you run out in 20, you run out in 30. But 1930 also, because that was such a bad decade. And again, we've looked at this in previous videos. If you look at the numbers here, you start out with these down years like that, and then some more down years. It just really didn't have a chance, even with this kind of scenario. But again, we said in other videos, you wouldn't leave all your money in the S&P 500. You probably did have an asset allocation of maybe 60-40. You like to keep a lot in the S&P 500, so let's go with a 60-40. Let's update this, meaning 60% of this original 1.5 would go over to the S&P 500, and 600,000, which is 30%, or 40%, which is go over in a cash reserve account, and that's a bucket. Say it's paying 3%. So when the market's going down, you're not taking it out of here, you're taking it out of here. In that case, even in 1929, let's see, 1929, even then you wouldn't run out of money, because that 60-40 asset split really helped out, because you have this cash reserve. Let's do one other thing here. Let's go ahead and increase this to 44,500. Going to update this. That'd be 3.6%. Let's go with 5,000, which would be the 4%. So the 4% rule, almost every case, you're going to find out you're going to be okay, except 1929, 1930 after 30 years. But if you look at the actual graph, it'll blow you away how much money. This is 2 million, folks. You're starting on 1.5, and look how many times you'd be above. This is the 20-year chart, by the way. How many times you'd be well above what you started with In some cases, you'd be way up over even $10 million. So you could easily take out the 4%, and that's why the 4% rule has always been upheld as the way to go rather than any much higher than that. But I just wanted to run these numbers to show you from start to finish, somebody 32 years old, um, what they would have with this scenario if they already have 34,000 saved up, say $400 a month. The next 30, 35-year period, they're going to have these are the worst case scenarios. I probably should have run it at 2 million at least, because this is the median account. But I just wanted to show you, I always like to kind of look at what happens if things really kind of turn south. But in this case, everything works out really good, except as we see 1929 and 1930 after 30 years. So in every scenario except those couple years for a 30-year period, you would not only not run out of money, you'd have more than what you started with. So you could take out more. But that's what I like to do in this channel is run numbers for people. I would have a request for you. The channel hasn't been getting very many views. There haven't been very many commenting. I need you to comment in the comment section, even if it's just just continue what you're doing or whatever, because the algorithm in YouTube kind of goes by a response of people. So if you could, first of all, subscribe, but also share this with friends and be sure and make some kind of a comment. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Just go ahead and say that in the comment section, and that would help this channel to keep going. Again, thanks for watching.